House Eiluned, the house of secret keepers, the house of prophecy and sorcery, who claim seelie allegiance, yet have a terribly close relationship with that bastion of the unseelie, House Ailill. If there is ever a reason to fear what you do not understand, it is House Eiluned. Back a very long time ago, when the proto-technocrats, or lycanthropes, or whatever the hell King Arthur really was one hero in a sea of greater myths, there were two true Fae children, both she. They were brother and sister, growing up together in the dark magical forests that were once everywhere in Europe. They survived the best they knew how. The brother, Ailill was his name, made a name for himself by slaying many a monster, and for other bold and daring deeds. There were always whispers that he was too close to that strange sister of his, Eiluned. Eiluned, for her part, spoke almost exclusively with her brother and retreated deeper into the forest to study it. She taught herself the arts of sorcery and prophecy. Ailill made a name for himself. He founded a kingdom and a house that shared his name. He began to drift away from Eiluned when she prophesied that only ill would come of it. Looking into the future had motivated her to finally act. She joined her wand with the blades of Fiona and Gwydion to fight against the many threats to the Fae. Beset with the evil Fomorians and treacherous overlords of the Sidhe, no Fae suspected their greatest threat would come from humanity. Groups of humans had long been working steadily and stealthily to change the rules the world Fae knew. Commoner and noble she alike began to die. There was no joy left in Europe. Eiluned had established a house by this point, and attempted to create stable and powerful pockets within the dreaming realm where they would be protected. It is from these freeholds that form the basis of the legends for Avalon and the Lady of Shalott. Eventually, such freeholds were not enough to protect the Fae. The highest amongst the noble she ordered all nobles to leave Earth and travel to Arcadia, the last territory of the Fae. Before departing this world, House Eiluned put trusted commoners in charge of their land in the dreaming, binding them with oaths. Perhaps that was enough for one generation, but eventually the promises were forgotten, and the commoners created the Changeling Way ritual, where they melded with human bodies in order to survive. Something was also going wrong in the Fae world for House Eiluned. Memories are hard to come by. Some blame it on halting the destruction of a dangerous artifact. Others say that House Eiluned somehow fell in with Clan Tremere of the vampires. Perhaps it was dangerous wizards. Perhaps it was even mad lycanthropes. In 1969, the world changed forever. Billions of people, the world over, saw a man walk on the moon. For the first time in centuries, humanity collectively felt like anything was possible. This supremely intense infusion of glamour into the world created a path to Arcadia and opened the gates to the Fae world. Disgraced she were kicked out of Arcadia and forced through the path back to Earth. Among them, House Eiluned. The she took whatever bodies of humans were around in a desperate attempt to survive, preferring those humans who already possessed some Fae blood within them. A hereditary token of some ancestral dalliance with Fae long ago. Of all the noble she houses, House Eiluned acclimatized to the new technologies of the world relatively quickly, preferring to work with information systems. What they were not so pleased with, however, was that it appeared their lands in the dreaming had been taken over by unrecognizable upstart commoners who would not give it back. A war ensued. The Night of Iron Knives was not an idea born solely out of the Eiluned mind, but they were one of the only ones to take responsibility for it. Attempting to cut the war short, they collected noble she leaders and rebel, self-styled commoner rulers to peace talks. The doors were then locked, and the commoners were slaughtered with cold iron. Some weaker she recanted or backed out of the follow-through. So the outraged commoners who heard of this used this news as an excuse to prolong and escalate the war. Then that High King David came and solved everything. That's a House Gwydion story. House Eiluned, for its part, has always understood that true power comes not from who wears the crown, but who is clever enough to deftly manipulate the Fae court to their wishes. The aliens swiftly position themselves as advisors, seneschals, and vice presidents in this new happily ever after the High King had created. You can find the Eiluned today in private defense, political, and computer science careers. Now, the aliens of today are quite ordered, and this starts at a young age. After going chrysalis, the dream dance part, very early on, an extended period of fosterage is preferred. When this is not available, even so, future House Alien members are taught extensive court etiquettes alongside their usual instruction in sorcery. Once they take their oath, they should be ready to move on to a crucial auxiliary role in a prominent household. And while House Eiluned proclaims to be a member of the Sidhe House, even the Sidhe amongst them acknowledge that no she can be completely Sidhe or unSidhe. It's more where you fall on the spectrum. Will you stand for the protection of commoners, your greatest allies, those of House Gwydion and Fiona? Or, like your brother House Ailill, will you realize compromises and the importance of adaptability are crucial in this new fight to survive? Finally, you might be one of those defective aliens that have become disgusted by the whole affair and join the Shadow Court. For again, that is hardly unknown.